The 1st Marine Infantry Regiment is a French regiment heir of the colonial infantry. The regiment is one of the quatre vieux regiments of the Troupes de Marine, with the 2nd Marine Infantry Regiment-2E RIMa, the 3rd Marine Infantry Regiment-3E RIMa, as well the 4th Marine Infantry Regiment-4E RIMa, along with the 1st Marine Artillery Regiment-1E RAMa and the 2nd Marine Artillery Regiment-2E RAMa. The 1st Marine formed the Blue Division. The 1E RIMa is a light armored unit since 1986, alike with the Regiment d'Infanterie de Marine RICM, creating and different nominations. Heir to the Sea Companies created in 1622 by Richelieu. The 1E RIMa was created by a royal decree in 1822 at the core of the French Naval Ministry. This regiment was part of the quatre of the Marine Infantry, which held garrison in the military ports ready to embark. The Verdun, Le Grand-Deux, the Grand-Trois, and the Grand-Quatre, designated as the 1st Colonial Infantry Regiment 1E RIC in 1900 at the creation of the Colonial Infantry at the core of the Ministry of War. The regiment was redesignated as RIMa in 1958, when the Colonial Infantry was redesignated as Marine Infantry. The evolution nomination of the Corps 1822 to 1827. 1st Marine Infantry Regiment. 1854. 1st Marine Infantry Regiment. 2nd formation. 1870. 1st Marching Marine Infantry Regiment. 1900 to 1940, designated as the 1st Colonial Infantry Regiment 1E RIC at the creation of Colonial Infantry at the core of the Ministry of War. 1941 to 1945, 4th Demi Brigade DFL, 1945 to 1947, 1st Colonial Infantry Regiment, 1947 1948, 1st Colonial Infantry Battalion, 1948, 1st Colonial Infantry Regiment, 1958, redesignated as RIMa when the Colonial Infantry became Marine Infantry. The regiment is heir to the 1st Free French Division and the Battalion of the Pacific, which combat engaged at Berheim. The Marine Infantry and Pacific Battalion was issued from the merger on July 1942 of the 1st Marine Infantry Battalion and the Pacific Battalion. History. Ancient regime wars of the Revolution and Empire 1813, German campaign of 1813 October 16 to 19, Battle of Leipzig 1814, Campaign of France February 14, 1918, Battle of Verchamps. In 1846, elements of the 1er RIMa were at Tahiti. The regiment was present in the Battle of Fatawa of December 17, 1846. Second Empire Crimean War, Franco-British campaign in the Baltic Sea 1854 Battle of Bomarsund. Second Opium War, Franco-British campaign 1860 Forts du Pejo, Cochinchina campaign 1861 Quijao. French intervention in Mexico 1863, Puebla, War of 1870–1871 on August 17, 1870, the 1st Marching Marine Infantry Regiment was part of the RAMa de Challenge of Marshal de MacMahon, with the 4th Marching Marine Infantry Regiment of Colonel Darboux. The 1er formed the 1st Brigade under the orders of General Ribault. This 1 Brigade, with the 2E Brigade of General Martin des Paliers, 3 batteries of cannons de 4 and 1 engineer company, constituted the 3rd Infantry Division commanded by Division General Elie de Vassogne. This infantry division evolved at the core of 12th Army Corps with Commander-in-Chief Lebrun. August 23 to August 26 march towards the east. August 31, 1870 Battle of Bazay. During the Paris Commune in 1871, the regiment participated with the RIMa Versailles. 1878, St. Louis, Senegal. 1883, Tonkin Expedition Sunday Campaign. World War I attachments August 1914 February 1916, 3rd Colonial Infantry Division 3E Dick in 1914, at the eve of the Great War. The 2E, 3E, 7E and 1E RIC were part of the 1st Brigade under the orders of General Montigno, the 3rd Colonial Infantry Division under the orders of General Raffanel. The 3E Dick, Generals Raffanel, Leblond, Godet, Gadel, Puy-Peru, engaged in the same sectors as the 2nd Colonial Infantry Division 2E Dick, to the First Battle of Champagne and the Second Battle of Champagne. In 1916, in the First Battle of the Somme, Bequincourt, Dompierre, Sevilla's, Flaucourt, Belloir and Santerre, Villers-Carbonel, Barlow. February 1916 November 1918, 17th Colonial Infantry Division, 17E DIC in 1917, to Second Battle of Aisne, Bois de Mortier, Mont de Singes. In 1918, at the Fourth Battle of Champagne, Montagne de Reims, the Second Battle of the Marne, to the Battle of Serre. 1914 August 22, Battle of Rossignol, August 24, St. Vincent, September 6–7, Battle of the Marne, Écrienne, Vauclerc. 1915 July to August 1915, Operations in Argonne. September 25 October 6, Second Battle of Champagne, Soane, September 28 Saint-Py. 1916 Macedonian Front with the 17 ED, Battle of Monastir. 1917 April to May 1917, attacks on the belt of Cerna. 1918–1918, Sokol, Battle of Dobropol, Kravitsa, September 15–18, Vetrenik, September 23–24, Bratsko. Interwar period World War II. On May 10, 1940, the 1st Colonial Infantry Regiment was under the command of Colonel Fauchon and part of the 3rd Colonial Infantry Division, which reinforced the sector of Montmedy. The 3rd Colonial Division, General Falvey, consisted of the 1st 21E, 23 RIC and 3E and 203 AC. The 3rd Colonial Division disappeared. The division immediately engaged the theatre in the sector of Saint-sur-Meuse, Stenay-Martincourt, Aviot-Brou north of Verdun, at the level of Côte 304 and Mortom, lieu of harsh combats in 1916–1917, where combats concentrated. On June 14, the 1er and 23e RIC were engaged in the ravine which separated Côte 304 from Mortom. At 0630, the Côte was crowned. Despite a relentless resistance, the armoured contingents crossed the bridge of Bethencourt in direction of Essenes. The bridge was blown up in the evening and redressed in the same night. The 1st Company of the 1E RIC of Captain Bertrand counter-attacked. At 17 hours, attacks were ceased. At 19 hours, the French Marines gave the part to other engagements. Combats of Free France. The regiment was made Compagnon de la Libération, June 28, 1945. 1945 to present. The regiment was found in A.F.N. from 1952 to 1962. Garrisoned in several places, the regiment was part of the 9th Brigade, then 9E DIMA, then 9E BLBMA. The regiment was deployed to Lebanon at the core of the multinational force in Lebanon in 1983, then United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon UNIFIL in 1984. In July 2009, the regiment joined the 3rd Mechanized Brigade, which became designated in March 2014 as 3rd Light Armored Brigade. The regiment has participated in all major operations of the French Army. In 2010, members of the regiment were deployed in Guadeloupe and Djibouti or in operations in Kosovo and Afghanistan. Organization. The regiment is organized into 7 squadrons. Traditions. The anniversary is celebrated for combats in Bazet, the village which was apprehended and abandoned 4 consecutive times under orders, respectively on August 31 and September 1, 1870. Au nom de Dieu, vive le colonial. In the name of God, vive le colonial. The Marceau and the Biggers have for Saint God. This war calling concludes intimate ceremonies which part life in the regiments, offered also at origin as an act of grace to Charles de Foucault. Motto insignia of the Wonder RIMa. Regimental colors. Decorations. The regimental colors are decorated with Legend Honor, Croix de Guerre 1914 to 1918 with 2 palms. Croix de Guerre 1939 to 1945 with 1 palm. Croix de la Vallee Militaire with 1 silver star with 1 palm. Fourragère. The regiment is entitled to wear the fourragère bearing the colors of the Croix de Guerre 1914 to 1918. Honors. Battle honors. Beaumont 1854. Forts du Pého 1860. Quijo 1861. Puebla 1863, Bazet 1870, Santé 1883, Le Mans 1914, Champagne 1915, Dobropolya 1918, Tobruk 1941, Berhakeim 1942, Garigliano 1944, Belfort 1944, Orth-Iron 1945, AFN 1952 to 1962. Regimental commanders. Wonder RIMa 1854, Colonel de Vassogne, 1870, Colonel Briere de Lisle, The 1st of October 1884-1885, General d'Archemin, 1893, Colonel Boilieve, Wonder 1903, Colonel Laluban, the 23rd of September 1913, the 12th of September 1914, General Guerin, Wonder RIMa Notbal officers and AMP Marines, Joseph Gorderic I. Merrick, captain in the Wonder RIMa in 1889.